Alchemy Emperor of the Divine Dao, Chapter 891, Chapter 4. The wind across Scarlet Heaven Academy carried the weight of expectation. On that day, beneath the vast sky of the imperial capital, thousands of young cultivators gathered before a towering structure of pale brilliance, the legendary White Star Tower. Its 9 pristine stories rose like a silent monument to destiny itself, each floor waiting to judge the strength, talent, and future potential of those who dared to enter. At the forefront of the square stood an imposing figure from the academy. Behind him, radiant projections of a blazing sun and a luminous moon hovered in the air, slowly revolving like celestial guardians. These were not mere decorations. They were manifestations of cultivation power, the unmistakable sign of a warrior who had stepped into the formidable sun-moon tier. Although this elder had only reached the minor stages of that realm, the aura he carried was already enough to make countless young cultivators feel awe rise within their hearts. After all, once one stepped beyond the mortal realms and entered the immortal tiers, every small breakthrough was like scaling a towering mountain. Each minor level was a steep peak rising into the heavens. Many cultivators could climb the first mountain. Some even managed the second, third, or fourth. But the 5th peak, the level where this academy elder now stood, was an entirely different matter. To reach that height was like attempting to grasp the sky itself. Very few in the entire world could climb so far. Under such overwhelming pressure, the crowd naturally fell silent. No one dared to breathe too loudly, let alone speak out of turn. Even though many of the youths present came from influential clans and powerful noble families within the imperial capital, they all understood a simple truth that governed the martial world. Strength demanded respect. Only foolish young masters who relied solely on family power would dare behave arrogantly before someone of such cultivation. The elder swept his gaze across the gathered crowd, then spoke calmly. "Let the assessment begin." His voice was neither loud nor harsh, yet it carried a commanding authority that echoed across the square. Behind him, the immense White Star Tower shimmered faintly beneath the sunlight. "This White Star Tower," the elder continued, "can accommodate 10,000 people at the same time, form all orderly lines and enter one after another. Once the capacity is reached, the tool spirit within the tower will automatically prevent anyone else from entering." His gaze sharpened slightly. "You will have today to complete your assessment. Make full use of the time available." A chorus of voices immediately answered. "Yes!" The presence of a sun-moon tier expert affected the crowd in subtle ways. His aura naturally stirred the emotions of those around him, causing everyone to unconsciously respond with enthusiasm and obedience. Soon, the massive group began organizing themselves into long lines that stretched across the plaza. One by one, the young cultivators stepped toward the towering structure. The White Star Tower was 9 stories tall, its surface smooth and luminous like polished jade. Though it appeared ordinary from the outside, those familiar with spirit tools immediately recognized its true nature. This tower was a powerful treasure, an artifact containing its own independent internal space. Otherwise, it would have been utterly impossible for 10,000 people to enter it simultaneously. As the lines moved forward, streams of people began disappearing into the tower's entrance. Yet something unexpected soon occurred. Before the last of the first 10,000 had even entered, some participants were already emerging from the tower's gate. The pace of the assessment was astonishing. In fact, the speed at which people exited soon matched the rate at which others entered. Above the tower, lights began flickering to life. Whenever someone successfully cleared a particular floor of the trial, the corresponding level of the tower would illuminate briefly. The tool spirit residing within the tower recorded every achievement. There was no possibility of deception. If someone truly intended to cheat such a divine artifact, it would likely be far more difficult than simply conquering the tower itself. Naturally, those who were confident in their abilities made a silent agreement among themselves. They remained near the back of the lines. In their minds, true geniuses should appear last, like the final flourish of a grand performance. Nearby, a young woman with bright eyes and an expression full of mischief tugged impatiently at Ling Han's sleeve. "Blockhead!" Li Weiwei whispered sharply. "Luo Ba is over there. Go greet him." Her tone carried obvious ill intent. Ling Han could not help but shake his head and chuckle softly. This young lady truly held a grudge. Ever since their previous encounters, she seemed determined to push him into conflicts wherever possible. Did she really want to see him beaten so badly? Ling Han naturally had no intention of walking over. However, fate had other plans. The Luo brothers had already noticed him. Luo Li's face immediately darkened with fury. Leaning close to a young man beside him, he muttered several words under his breath. Moments later, the two of them began walking toward Ling Han and Li Weiwei. The other youth was none other than Luo Ba. Unlike the younger Luo Li, Luo Ba possessed an imposing presence that could not be ignored. His tall and sturdy body resembled that of a tyrant king standing upon a battlefield. More astonishing still was the aura surrounding him. Faint halos of divine radiance flickered around his figure, making him appear almost like the chosen son of the heavens. The two brothers stopped before Li Weiwei. "Greetings, fourth young miss." They bowed respectfully. Li Weiwei nodded slightly in return, her demeanor calm and distant. Her identity carried considerable weight within the imperial capital. As the daughter of the left minister, only a handful of noble descendants could claim equal standing with her. After offering their greeting, Luo Ba slowly turned his gaze toward Ling Han. His voice remained calm, yet beneath that calmness lurked cold hostility. "So, you must be Brother Ling, the one who came from a small world?" Ling Han met his gaze without hesitation. "I am Ling Han." His tone was equally calm. Luo Ba's eyes narrowed slightly. "Thank you," he said slowly, "for guiding my younger brother." Though the words sounded polite, the darkness within his voice was unmistakable. The flames of anger flickered clearly in his eyes. The Luo clan might not rank among the very strongest noble families in the imperial capital, but they were still a powerful lineage. To them, humiliation from someone of humble origin, especially a cultivator from a small world, was unacceptable. Ling Han simply chuckled. "It was only a very slight effort," he replied casually. "There's no need to thank me." The effect of those words was explosive. Both Luo brothers nearly erupted in fury. They had not been expressing gratitude at all. Luo Ba's earlier remark had clearly been dripping with sarcasm. Yet, Ling Han had responded as though he truly believed it was sincere. For Luo Ba, it felt like striking with full force only to hit empty air. The frustration gnawed at him. His expression darkened further. "No one," Luo Ba said coldly, "can humiliate members of the Luo clan." Originally, he had planned to pressure Ling Han with sharp words, but Ling Han's completely unexpected reaction had disrupted that plan entirely. Instead of gaining the upper hand, Luo Ba found himself becoming more irritated. Thus, he abandoned subtlety. His aggressive nature surfaced directly. Ling Han merely smiled. "Oh," he asked lightly, "do you want to fight?" Within the shattering void tier, Ling Han truly feared no one, not even the Empress of the Chaotic Star's majestic empire. If she were to suppress her cultivation to the same realm, when he was confident he could beat her until she obediently called him Big Brother. Beside them, Li Weiwei's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Fight, fight!" She waved her fists enthusiastically, clearly delighted at the possibility of chaos erupting. Luo Ba sneered. "You're quite clever," he said. "This is Scarlet Heaven Academy. Who would dare cause trouble here?" He paused before continuing. "However, once you enter the academy, I will challenge you." His gaze turned cold. "And if you fail to enroll," his lips curled slightly, "then you're dead." Ling Han rubbed his chin thoughtfully, smiling as though he had just heard an amusing joke. "Is it really wise to threaten me like this?" he asked. "What if you discover you're not my opponent and end up begging me for mercy instead?" Luo Ba laughed coldly. To him, such a possibility was absurd. Among the younger generation of the Luo clan, he was already recognized as a rising star. The clan had placed immense hopes upon him. How could he possibly lose to a mere cultivator from a small world? In truth, with the resources available to the Luo clan, Luo Ba could have already stepped into the immortal level, but he had chosen not to. There was a greater goal before him. He sought to reach the legendary peak of battle power, 20 stars within the shattering void tier. This was a widely understood aspiration among elite cultivators. Before reaching the age of 100, they would attempt to push their combat strength to the absolute limit of the realm. If they succeeded in breaking through with 20 stars of battle prowess, they would ascend into the immortal level as a one-star genius. Such individuals possessed extraordinary combat ability. They could even fight across a sub-minor level to defeat stronger opponents. Thus, Luo Ba had deliberately delayed his breakthrough. He would not enter the immortal realm before the age of 100 unless he first achieved 20 stars of battle strength. Staring at Ling Han, he spoke slowly. "You just wait and see." Ling Han blinked in mock concern. "Do you have a stutter?" He sighed dramatically. "How unfortunate. The younger brother is an idiot, and the elder brother is a stutterer." The Luo brothers nearly lost control. Their anger surged violently, and they almost rushed forward to attack Ling Han on the spot. But reason prevailed. This was Scarlet Heaven Academy. On such an important day, initiating a fight here would bring catastrophic consequences. Even with the Luo clan behind them, the Academy would not tolerate such behavior. The punishment would be immediate expulsion and permanent banishment from the Academy. Suppressing his rage, Luo Ba grabbed Luo Li's arm. "Let's go," he said through clenched teeth. "We're entering the assessment." In this place, power was the only language that mattered. Luo Ba intended to climb the tower, to stand upon its higher floors and prove his supremacy. He wanted everyone present to understand a single truth. Among the younger generation, Luo Ba was destined to rule. Time passed. Suddenly, a voice rang out from the crowd. "Look, the 4th floor lit up." Excited murmurs erupted instantly. If someone can advance one more level and reach the 5th floor, they'll have the potential to become a one-star genius. "Wait, really?" "Of course," someone explained eagerly. "Do you know what this assessment is actually measuring? It evaluates future potential. The 5th floor indicates the possibility of becoming a one-star genius. The 6th floor means 2-star potential. The 7th floor indicates 3-star. The 8th floor corresponds to 4-star. And the 9th floor," the speaker paused dramatically, "that represents the potential of a 5-star genius." Gasps spread through the crowd. "Of course," the speaker continued, "this only measures potential. It's not a guarantee. Your own effort will still determine your future. That's also why people who failed previously are allowed to attempt the test again, as long as they're under 100 years old. Through hard work, your abilities can improve. And who knows, you might even encounter a fortunate opportunity that changes everything." The rookies nodded in understanding. At the same time, their gazes returned to the towering White Star Tower. Lights occasionally flickered across the 3rd floor. But the 4th floor, this was the first time it had illuminated today. Who is that strong? Who else could it be? Didn't you see Luo Ba enter earlier? Hiss! So it's him. No wonder he reached the 4th floor. I wonder if he can light up the 5th level as well. That will be difficult, but not impossible. Just as the spectators continued discussing excitedly, the 5th floor of the White Star Tower suddenly burst into radiant light. In an instant, the entire crowd erupted into commotion. The plaza before the towering white pagoda had become a sea of astonished voices. "5th level!" The shout rang through the crowd like a clap of thunder, and countless gazes lifted toward the glowing tower. As expected of Luo Ba, someone who is almost certain to become a one-star genius, a talent that appears once in a century. Excitement surged through the square, admiration gleamed in people's eyes, while envy flickered quietly in the corners of their expressions. Up to this moment, no result had surpassed what Luo Ba had achieved. The tower's 5th floor burned with light, a silent testament to his accomplishment. Among the gathered spectators, whispers began to ripple like wind across tall grass. "Do you think Luo Ba might push further? Could he break through the 6th level and become a 2-star genius?" The suggestion alone caused a stir, but soon more cautious voices answered. "That will be difficult." The difference between a 1-star genius and a 2-star genius isn't just a simple step, it's the distance of an entire sub-minor realm. And those kinds of prodigies only appear once every 1,000 years. Yet another person spoke thoughtfully, unwilling to dismiss the possibility too quickly. "Still, this is the chaotic star's majestic empire. Our territory stretches across unimaginable lands, and the number of geniuses that appear here far exceeds that of other royal empires. In smaller kingdoms, seeing several one-star geniuses at the same time is already remarkable. But here, a two-star genius might just emerge. Even so, another shook his head slowly. Even in the chaotic star's majestic empire, such people are rare. As far as I know, Scarlet Heaven Academy currently has fewer than 100 two-star geniuses. That number sounded large at first glance, but when one remembered what Scarlet Heaven Academy represented, the reality changed entirely. For thousands of years, the Academy had gathered the greatest young talents of the entire empire, generation after generation. Against such an immense backdrop, fewer than 100 two-star geniuses was actually a very small number. Thus, everyone fell silent once more. All eyes returned to the 9-storied White Tower. If the 6th level lit up, then Luobar's future might reach the realm of a two-star genius. Time passed. Moments stretched into long breaths, yet the 6th floor of the tower remained dark. Eventually, the tower's doors opened. Luobar stepped out. He had not crossed the 6th level. A faint sigh drifted through the Academy elders who watched from nearby platforms. Just moments earlier, they had held great expectations for the young man, but miracles were not so easily born. Still, this outcome was entirely normal. Two-star geniuses were simply too rare. Even within the vast lands of the chaotic star's majestic empire, at most one might appear in an entire decade. Of course, the future was never certain. It was possible that Luobar might continue to grow and eventually step into the ranks of a two-star genius. But it was equally possible that he might fail to even secure the status of a one-star genius. After all, this tower assessment only measured potential, nothing more. Very good. Very good indeed. One of the Academy elders stroked his beard and spoke with satisfaction. I just consulted Lord Toolspirit. Although Luobar failed to break through the 6th level, he managed to complete the first 2 trials within the 6th floor. That result is already extremely impressive. In previous years, such a performance would have easily placed him among the top 3. Even taking first place would not have been strange. The elders of the Northern Institution exchanged pleased glances. Ho ho! It seems we've finally found a promising seedling. Relief washed across their expressions. Within the Academy, prestige depended heavily on the talents one cultivated. The stronger the students admitted into an institution, the more pride its elders could carry. And right now, Luobar's performance had drawn the attention of everyone present. Naturally, this brilliant spotlight stirred the hearts of the other young geniuses. One after another, they stepped forward and entered the tower to undergo their own assessments. Soon the doors of the tower opened repeatedly. More and more participants emerged from the 4th floor, but none surpassed Luobar. Even after dozens of attempts, he remained the only person who had reached the 5th level. Nearby, Li Wei nudged Ling Han sharply with her elbow. "Blockhead," she said, lowering her voice. "Are you starting to feel pressure yet?" She nodded toward the tower with a sigh. That Luobar, he really deserves to stand on the same level as Big Sister Yun. He actually managed to reach the 5th level. She folded her arms and looked somewhat gloomy. I can only make it to the 4th floor at best. Her voice carried a hint of frustration. Although she had always known that she could not compare with the very top geniuses of the Empire, facing that reality so directly still left her feeling discouraged. Ling Han merely smiled faintly. His eyes remained calm, like still water beneath moonlight. "Then watch carefully," he replied. "I'll sweep aside all the so-called geniuses and calmly take the first place." Li Weiwei rolled her eyes dramatically. "Show off!" she snorted. "Fine then, I'll go first." She pointed at him with a mischievous grin. "Since you're speaking with such confidence, you'll be the last one to enter. Let's see whether you really can shock everyone." Ling Han nodded calmly. "Fine." From the pace of the assessment, it was clear that the testing would conclude today. Since waiting was inevitable, entering earlier or later made no real difference. With that decided, Li Weiwei ran toward the tower. The doors closed behind her. Time ticked by slowly. Nearly half an hour passed before the tower doors opened again. Li Weiwei finally completed her test. In this assessment, time itself carried meaning. The longer one remained inside, the better their result tended to be. And indeed, her performance proved respectable. She successfully cleared the 4th level, but when she reached the 5th floor, she failed during the tactics trial. there was little she could do about it. Spiritual strength and innate talent could sometimes be enhanced through rare treasures. But combat tactics, those could only be sharpened through real battles and personal experience. Suddenly someone shouted, "Look! The 5th level has lit up again!" Instantly, every head tilted upward. The 5th floor of the tower shone with bright light. A shadow darkened Luobar's face. If another person passed the 5th level, they might become his rival, and that possibility weighed heavily on his mind. Beside him, Luoli spoke reassuringly. "Brother, don't worry. You've already completed the first 2 trials on the 6th floor. As long as this person cannot break through the 6th level, they can only stand on the same level as you." He smiled slightly. "And honestly, I think it's very likely that person will fail during the first 2 trials ahead." Luobar nodded slowly. His confidence in his own ability remained strong, yet he could not stop himself from staring toward the entrance of the tower. He hoped to see the challenger emerge quickly, because the earlier someone left the tower, the more likely it meant they had been eliminated. Time passed. The tower remained silent. Eventually, the 6th floor still failed to illuminate. The doors opened. A tall young man stepped out. His clothes were loose and slightly untidy. His posture carried a carefree air, as though the entire world meant little to him. "Ah, so it's Brother Lin Yu! No wonder he reached the 5th level." Voices filled with excitement echoed through the crowd. "I wonder how he compares with Luobar." Someone immediately answered with conviction. "Brother Lin will definitely not be worse than Luobar." Many people voiced their support. It was obvious that Lin Yu enjoyed immense popularity. Everyone present seemed to know him. Lin Yu was famous in the imperial capital for one simple reason. He was loyal. If he recognized someone as a friend, he would go to great lengths to help them, no matter how difficult the problem. Among the younger generation of the capital, almost everyone respected him. Whenever his name was mentioned, people would raise their thumbs and greet him warmly as Brother Lin. So, when the comparison between Lin Yu and Luobar appeared, the crowd's preference was obvious. Without hesitation, they sided with Lin Yu. Hearing the praise directed toward his rival, Luobar could not help but snort coldly. His expression darkened further. Even though he knew that Lin Yu's results were, at most, equal to his own, the praise still irritated him deeply. Meanwhile, the elders of the Northern Institution examined the results. Another genius capable of reaching the 5th level. One elder sighed softly. Unfortunately, he also failed during the 3rd trial of the 6th floor. If only he had passed. They shook their heads. Despite their regret, they still looked pleased. Lin Yu had come extremely close to crossing the 6th level. Then, amid the shifting crowd, another figure drew attention. A young man with bare forearms suddenly leapt down from a large boulder. He landed lightly upon the ground. A confident smile curved across his lips. Without hesitation, he strode toward the 9-storied tower. His presence was overwhelming. As he walked forward, people around him instinctively moved aside. Some even collapsed backward onto the ground. The atmosphere around him felt like the arrival of a ferocious beast. Fear prickled along their skin. Who is that? What a terrifying aura! Another person whispered in realization. "I know him. He's a monstrous genius from the wild mountains in the south. He only arrived in the imperial capital a few days ago." What makes him so famous? The answer stunned them. He fought 13 consecutive matches in the battle arena, and he won every single one. Shock spread like wildfire. 13 victories in a row? That means he should at least have the potential to become a 1-star genius, someone nodded. According to the battle arena's ranking rules, 10 consecutive victories already qualify someone as a 1-star genius. Another asked curiously, "So did he lose the 14th battle?" "No. He simply chose not to continue fighting." "Why?" The response caused many people to nearly choke. He said he was hungry and didn't feel like fighting anymore. For a moment, silence hung in the air. Then laughter exploded throughout the crowd. Such a reason was utterly absurd. Was this fellow some kind of glutton? He truly seemed like someone who had walked straight out of the untamed wilderness. Yet after the laughter faded, the crowd's expressions gradually became serious again, because one thing was undeniable. This man's aura was terrifying. Even someone of equal strength might find themselves unable to display their full power while standing before him. Without even lifting a hand, he could intimidate his enemies. That's the bearing of a natural ruler. A murmur spread. Someone finally asked the question lingering in everyone's mind. What is his name? The answer came quietly. Ma Xing.